Hi everybody, if you're here, it's from my class. This is welcome. Part 3 of your homework for Monday, September 7th that I've asked you to do. Part 1 was listening to Dr. Feynman, one of the big physicists of the 20th century. You should know his name. And he talked about, scientists, we start with a guess. Even you guys, you start with a guess. And I love that language because it's so simple. It's like, why does that happen? Why is this light giving off light? Why is the sky blue, right? These are phenomenon, and we make guesses about these things. Why do trees grow and why do we breathe? And then we have to do experiments to see if our guesses are right. And Feynman really stresses that, and I love that about his simplistic view of the scientific process. All right. Part 2 was really for you to be looking at RGB phenomenon, and so we take a guess. Why does this happen? And you played with it and you came up with some rules. This is part 3, and this is where we really need to be looking at our rubric, because this target really becomes focused on. All right, so you have to be able to identify and calculate the subatomic particles of an atom. Learn some of these probably in middle school, and you should be able to draw proper Bohr-Rutherford diagrams for the first 20 elements of the periodic table. That's what this means, Z. Okay, and we'll get more into that in a second. So those are our learning targets. That's what by the end of this video you will be introduced to, not necessarily master. And we will be practicing this in class with Miss Chong on Monday. So let's dig in. If we do a quick search, Google search for chemical symbol, you'll see things like this pop up, and you'll see two numbers. You got, right, the atomic number, and you've got the mass number. And notice here it's different than is this symbol. It's because there's no global standard. What you need to always know is that the larger number, okay, is always the mass number. All right, and notice that's because it's protons and neutrons, whereas the atomic number is only the protons. All right, so you probably learned in middle school that you have in this element protons, neutrons, and electrons. I use these symbols because protons are positive, electrons are negative, and neutrons are neutral. Pretty easy mnemonics there to work out and remind yourself. But how do we find the numbers? Well, you should be able to logically do it. I usually have kids logically deduce it, and many kids can do this. If the atomic number is the number of protons, 5 seconds. Guess. 4. You didn't guess. The atomic number is the 6 because it's the smaller number. Remember, I just told you, the larger is always the mass number. See how the mass number here was on top, but here the larger number is below? This is what confuses kids. Those numbers will move around, but as long as you remember, the larger number is always the mass number, you're going to be fine. Now, by simple deduction, 12 minus 6 equals 6. And the number of electrons is 6 if an atom, meaning if it's neutral. Okay? So that means that the number of negative charges and the number of positive charges are the same. On a number line, if we go 6 negative and 6 positive, they will cancel out and you have 0 charge. We're going to stick things now just consistently for 0 charge. All right? So, here's an element. It's a bit bigger. Same thing, though. If this is the larger number, what does that represent? I'll give you 3 seconds. That was longer than 3 seconds. This is going to be the mass number, right? And that mass number means that it's the protons plus the neutrons, which means this is Z, the atomic number, and it is the protons. So right now you can figure out the protons, the neutrons, and if it's neutral, the electrons. Okay? Go ahead and do that. Take a little bit. Go. You're going to be practicing this, right? So, protons is 26. Neutrons, 55? Is it 55? Is it 56? This is where students often, what? Students, what is it? Well, we're going to round up in this case because there's no such thing. Oh, that was a badass. No such thing as a partial neutron. So here we're going to round it up to 56. You're going to subtract the 26 and you get 56 minus 26, 52. Is that 30? Did you get what I got? 30? Now, electrons equals that 26, right? These equal each other. So 26, 56, and 26. You're going to practice this. This is just showing you things, okay? So right now, we just worked into how, all right, how to use the chemical symbols and data to find the protons, neutrons, and electrons, all right? I know it's messy. I'm not the cleanest when it comes to making these. And we applied it here with iron. Let's do one more, a smaller one. If I gave you this data, and there's no universal agreement on where these numbers go, 8 and 16, you should be starting to figure it out. Okay, give you like a little bit more time. In fact, hit pause. Hit pause, work it out. Now I'm going to say, we're back. Well, larger number equals A, which equals the protons plus the neutrons, which equals the mass number, right? This is smaller, it's the atomic number. So it's the first things you got to keep remember, right? So protons is 8, 16 minus 8 equals 8, and 8 electrons. Again, if this is neutral, meaning no charge. That's long enough for step 1. Step 2, we're going to make Bohr-Rutherford diagrams.